Afghanistan President Ashraf Ghani has reportedly left the country after the Taliban entered Kabul. His close aides have also left the country along with him. The Taliban entered Kabul and now they are seeking the unconditional surrender of the government. Even as Afghans and foreigners alike raced for the exit, helicopters buzzed overhead as part of an evacuation of personnel from the US Embassy. Several other Western missions were also preparing to get staff out. Workers fled government offices and smoke rose over the city as embassy staff burned important documents. Today's episode signaled the end of a 20-year Western experiment aimed at remaking Afghanistan. In a stunning rout, the Taliban seized nearly all of Afghanistan in just over a week, despite the hundreds of billions of dollars spent by the US and NATO over nearly 2 decades to build up Afghan security forces. The Afghanistan government meanwhile hoped for an interim administration but increasingly had few cards to play. Civilians, fearing that the Taliban could reimpose the kind of brutal rule that all but eliminated women's rights, rushed to leave the country, lining up at cash machines to withdraw their life savings. Many of Kabul's streets were choked by cars and people either trying to rush home or reach the airport. Taliban said they are waiting a peaceful transfer of Kabul city. Taliban negotiators headed to the presidential palace to discuss the transfer. Taliban said they would offer an amnesty to those who worked with Afghan government or foreign forces. Despite the pledges, panic set in as many rushed to leave the country through the Kabul airport, the last route out of the country, as the Taliban now hold every border crossing. Rapid shuttle flights of helicopters near the US Embassy began a few hours after the militants seized the nearby city of Jalalabad, which had been the last major city. The Afghan forces at Bagram Air Base, home to a prison housing 5,000 inmates, surrendered to the Taliban. The prison at the former US base held both Taliban and Islamic State group fighters. The Taliban said its rapid gains showed it was popularly accepted by the Afghan people and reassured both Afghans and foreigners that they would be safe.